again and welcome to episode 4 of the NINTENDOGRAM podcast. Today we have a lot of rumours for you. In fact, we have everything from the Wii U to NX to Wii U games launching on the NX, which is strange. We also have an absolutely bizarre yet wonderful midweek game announcement that sort of broke the internet for a while called Detective Pikachu. Yes, it's exactly what it sounds like. I'm your host Benji Summers and with me is Luke Chattis.
As always, hello.
Let's get this show underway. So, Charis, to kick things off on today's podcast, usually we talk about what we've been playing, but I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, we've not really changed what we've been playing from last week.
I've gone the completely other direction anyway. I've been naughty.
You have the dark side, PlayStation. You bought a PS4.
I bought a PS4.
Yeah, which is cool because I plan on getting one towards the end of the year with Final Fantasy looming. So tell me, what has the experience been like so far? I mean, you've had it. You got it on Monday, right?
Yeah, so I've had it for 5 days now.
Yeah. So, touch upon some of the differences at the moment. Obviously, graphics and power, and the fact you can't play Mario on it.
Well, you say graphics anyway, but I was in a party chat the other day, and someone, because obviously people know how much I enjoy playing Xenoblade, someone said to me, does it look as good as Xenoblade? And I'm talking about Star Wars, by the way, but simply no. Like, they didn't believe me that I thought a Wii U game had better graphics than the PS4 game. They was like, nah, you're just saying that, you love Nintendo. But, I mean, it's only one game I'm comparing it to, but the power of the Wii U still can handle these great graphics.
Yeah.
As opposed to one of these great PS4 titles.
See, that's the thing about Nintendo. They get slated for their graphics a lot. I mean, I do personally believe Star Wars Battlefront has better graphics, but, it doesn't. It's a different art style, to be fair. And
right.
But what was I saying? Oh yeah, sorry. The recent consoles, well, probably most of them actually. When you look at GameCube, Wii U, especially the Wii and Wii U have been slated for their graphical limitations and power limitations, but at the same time, you had Mario Galaxy, which looked incredible. Wasn't in HD, but yeah.
No, it looks. 10 years on, it still lives up to being a great-looking game.
And then you have, probably my best-looking in terms of true epicness and sheer scale, Xenoblade Chronicles X on the Wii U, which does look incredible. It has its issues with, I think the character models look a bit iffy. And there's a few pop-ins, like on the way it's running, it's a bit off. But in terms of scope, scale, and just how it looks, it does look incredible. And
I've not spoken to one person yet who has gone out and played Xenoblade and not kind of been like, whoa, when they kind of just see the vast environment around you.
And it definitely benefits from, not being a YouTube video or a trailer and suddenly you see it on your TV, like 32-inch or whatever you've got. You suddenly play it and there's these mountains in the background, sea, or these giant creatures, and it looks absolutely incredible. So, I think for someone who really likes to hold on to that and sort of shove it in the face of people that say, the Wii U's underpowered. Yeah, I get it. It's not as powerful, but look what it can produce.
That's the thing. It's not underpowered. It's, in comparison with Xbox One and PlayStation 4, it is weaker.
Yeah, definitely.
But as a gaming console, it's not a weak console.
No.
It's strong, just the other two are stronger.
Yeah, definitely. But I think it's important to note that Nintendo, with the Wii and Wii U mainly, like touching upon with Mario Galaxy and now Xenoblade, they really push their hardware. Like, people thought its limits were one thing, and then they go and take it a step further. That's how I feel, anyway. But yeah, with the PS4, that's the graphic talk, I guess. Is there anything on there, even little things, that you feel like are not necessarily they're doing better than Nintendo, but anything that you think Nintendo could possibly learn from and put into the NX or the next system?
There's plenty. I mean, it's just a lot of small things for example. This is more like a wish list now, what I try list, but like, I wish that Nintendo would partner up with someone like Twitch or YouTube and try and let you stream straight from your console like the PlayStation does, because some of the most viewed things on Twitch, like Mario Maker, Smash Bros, which obviously competitively is watched a lot. There's so many games that people want to tune into, and it'd be just so much easier if we can do it straight from the console. I mean, that goes without saying.
Oh, I agree. And I mean, the popularity of stuff like Twitch, online gaming, competitive gaming like Smash Bros, and there's going to be other games like that as well, especially with Pokken Tournament coming out. But the popularity of all that stuff is only rising. I mean, they've only really scratched on the surface of it. I think there's so much untapped potential, and it's going to be going for years and years and years. And Nintendo at the moment are really missing out on that market. I know people are streaming Nintendo games on Twitch and stuff, but you know, they're probably having to do it quite a hard way around, and in an expensive way, buying capture cards and whatnot. It'd be nice just an integrated piece of kit that streamed directly from the console, possibly the NX, from the console to Twitch, and you know, you can do it like your PlayStation 4, and I feel like that is going to be quite an important thing.
That's the thing. Esports in itself is a rising market. Like, it's just gaining more and more popularity of each day anyway.
Definitely.
It will be, in one generation, it will be on all consoles. It will just be a familiar thing one day.
Yeah, I mean, there's people that are going to like be born into the world one day. I don't know how long from now, 10, 20 years, I don't know, but they're going to, you know, they're going to say, what? Consoles? You couldn't stream on them? What the hell?
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, it will happen, and sooner than we think.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that is definitely 100% a thing that they must be at least considering.
Exactly. I think as well, one thing that they do need to catch up on as well, which a lot of people will agree with me, is party chat as well.
Yes, party chat.
There is no reason as to why the Wii U couldn't have handled that.
No, and it really feels lame when we have to sit here and explain, yeah, but, you know, we got Skype.
Which, granted, you know, it's good enough. You know, we can't complain. We use it, but why? I just don't understand why the Wii U can't. It's powerful enough.
Yeah, and it just seems like such a silly little thing. It's like buying a mobile phone and then, I don't know, it's the texting. You can only text 10 words.
Yeah, just put a limitation on something that should be so simple. Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's definitely a weird one, because I think I've said before, like Nintendo with their demographic, especially with the Wii, and I think they tried to do it with the Wii U, but it's sort of failed with the casual market, putting consoles in the living room, in the front room, like a family room where a lot of people are going to use it. You know, you're probably not going to have Skype there. You're not going to have, like, I'm sat here in front of a computer now with a TV above it. It's easy for me to Skype, but I'm not, you know.
Not everyone has that luxury.
Yeah, it's not even that. It's convenience, rather. Because I imagine obviously a lot of people have computers, tablets, laptops, anything like that. But like, do people really want to be functioning with both sort of multitasking? No, you want everything integrated into one thing, like the mobile phone has become. The mobile phone now is a phone. It's a camera. It's a web device. It's a sound recorder and everything else you can possibly imagine. It's become that. And I'm not saying Nintendo or consoles in general need to go down that road, but it's nice to have a little hub of things that are especially popular at the moment. Party chat is obviously never ever going to go away while there's online gaming. That is just, it should be
exactly.
It should be an essential.
Yeah,
like, and it should be a given. It should be there by default. So, I mean, that little debate anyway. There's nothing to debate about personally, but that little comment and complaint, should I say, has been there since day one for the Wii U, because that was a disappointment getting it out of the box and there's no party chat. And I can't believe they've not done an update to sort it out. But yeah, anything else you want to add for the PS4 at all? Other than you're enjoying it, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, definitely enjoying it. But there's just lots, and I could sit here for ages and list lots and lots of little things. I mean, we've only got so much time with a podcast, but like,
yeah,
there's little things like social media integration as well. Like PlayStation have their own app, which I'm sure the NX will have, because we have a Miiverse app now, don't we?
Yeah.
With the PlayStation, like, you can send friend requests, accept them, use it as like a separate screen, just little features which help the experience of the game, which would have been cool. I feel like it's a missed opportunity, but I feel like it's one that they will rectify anyway.
Hopefully. I mean, Nintendo are the kings and queens of missed opportunities, but we know too much about that, unfortunately.
That's it. We'll have to see what the NX brings anyway. I'm sure that Nintendo are going to pick up on these things, but I don't want to repeat myself because I said that with the Wii going on to the Wii U, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, it's always a waiting game, but we will see.
And as always, we've got loads of rumours popping up throughout the week anyway.
Yes,
so
let's get started on that.
Yeah, I don't know where you want to start.
Well, why don't we start with Xenoblade, which is something we was just talking about. But Monolith Software are apparently rumoured, big keyword again, there's going to be a lot of that this podcast, I'm sorry, but rumoured to be already developing Xenoblade Chronicles X sequel for the NX. There was a tweet sent out earlier in the week saying that it's already in development and it's more story focused, which is a good thing, personally. And some of the save game data from the Wii U version is included to transfer. So I don't really know what to make of it, personally.
I hope it's true, because I love the Xenoblade series as it is. So yeah, I'm all for a sequel. And it wouldn't surprise me anyway. Xenoblade has been successful in my eyes. People have gone out and bought it. It may not be the best-selling game in the whole of Europe or North America or Japan, etc., but
it's a highly praised RPG, which we need more of.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I am in the same boat. It doesn't surprise me it wouldn't surprise me if this is necessarily real. I mean, the nitty-gritty, small, finer details, probably not going to be right, but I am under the impression anyway that Monolith Software are making a sequel, their third game in the series for the NX. There would be no reason really for them to do anything on the Wii U. I can't imagine them doing something on the 3DS. I can only imagine how goddamn gorgeous something Xenoblade Chronicles-esque would look on the NX. I'm just hoping it's not a HD remake or anything like that.
A HD remake of Xenoblade Chronicles X would just be the biggest waste of time anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, if we are getting the sequel, the one thing I hope everyone, let's make it more story orientated, more like Xenoblade for the Wii.
Yeah,
that story was incredible.
I've heard so many great things, like not just from yourself, but obviously online and what other people have said. That I haven't played the first one. I've played a lot of the second one, and I do enjoy it. It's just the only gripe probably the major gripe I have with it is that the story is really lacking. There's nothing really pulling me in, and considering the last RPG even I played before that was me going through Final Fantasy VII, which is an absolutely compelling and really rich of character development story. It's just got arcs all over the place that blend in so well, and everyone develops so well, and they change throughout the game, and stuff happens that affects characters. And that's what, a 20-year-old game, nearly, and just for the story on that. And then going to Xenoblade Chronicle X's story, it was a little deflating, a little, I nearly said depressing, disappointing, that it wasn't gripping. It just was run-of-the-mill, pretty over-the-top-ish, generic sci-fi RPG story where everyone's doomed on some bad aliens. Let's stop them, let's join up with some other aliens and stop them bad aliens. There's not really too much going on other than that, to be honest with you. I'm guessing you feel exactly the same way I do about the story.
I think the majority do anyway. I mean, I don't dislike Xenoblade Chronicles X's storyline, but
no.
It's kind of like you. I've gone straight from Xenoblade Chronicles to Chronicles X.
Yeah.
Thinking this whole game is orientated pretty much around you're following Shulkin on his journey to the other side and fighting and blah blah blah. It's all great, but then you go to Xenoblade, it's a bit like, oh, so much happening at once. Oh, look, and the story as well. But, there's just so much happening around me. What the hell? Now I'm flying around and, oh my God, I'm dead.
Yeah, to be fair, sorry to butt in, but like after so many hours, you realise the story's a bit So luckily you have this gorgeous backdrop that will absorb you. There's not a story to reel you in, but there is the world. That itself reels you in. And it'd be nice to get the balance right next time.
Yeah, this is what I say about the game. The story for me isn't the important bit, which it could be wrong, could be right. It depends which way you look at it. But to me, that game is about going out and exploring. Just that whole environment is worth the game itself. I could spend a whole session just flying around.
Definitely.
Because it's just so big and just so much to look for. And doing the missions as well, the affinity missions, basic, whatever type you choose, that is fun. If you're not strong enough, that you will grind and you will make sure you can finish this one little task. So for me, I wanted to have a more story-driven game.
Yeah, and touching upon the affinity missions, I do feel like a lot of them are quite boring and stale, personally.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
It's just like fetch quests. Go find random item A, B, and C and bring them back so you can get blah, blah, blah. And yeah, nothing feels necessarily crucial in that game, but it would be nice to get the balance right next time.
That's what I mean. If we had the story of Xenoblade Wii with the exploration, the collecting, everything about Xenoblade Chronicles X, you've put that into one big game, you've made a groundbreaking game.
Yeah, you've nailed it.
Yeah. That's what we need. And that's why I really hope, if this rumour of a sequel is true, which I reckon it is, at a guess, and I wouldn't be surprised if I'm right, I reckon it's being made. But we probably won't hear anything about it for a long time anyway.
Yeah. I'll be surprised if we heard something about it this year.
Yeah. But that being said, they announced Xenoblade Chronicles X a few years before it was even released. It was just a little teaser. It was nothing. It was only a couple second video. But yeah, that was released way before they announced anything about. Even before, we kind of knew it was a Xenoblade game, but they didn't even announce that it was Xenoblade.
Yeah, I think it was E3 2013.
Yeah, something like that. It was a long time ago. So that would have been 2.5 years before the game was even released.
Yeah, it didn't help either that it was out in Japan nearly a year after it.
About 2/3
before
of the
it
year.
came to us, yeah.
Which did suck for someone who's just completed the original and wanted that game for so long. No, there are people out there playing it, but not you, and it hurts.
Oh, well, good old Nintendo marketing and planning. But another subject we should probably touch upon, again, another rumour. Apologise if anyone's sick of rumours out there, but unfortunately it's something we have to
That is Nintendo anyway,
yeah. Which is, to be honest, I find it an enjoyable aspect of being a Nintendo fan because some of them are so far-fetched and so glamorized and unreal that it's very fun to talk about. Obviously, we're not getting Halo on the Wii U or NX, but something we might be getting on the NX is Smash Bros. Wii U.
For 3DS. Which, I mean, I've never thought about that idea before until it was, but it would make sense. I don't know if I'm happy about it or not. It does feel like a rehash. It would be the same game on 3 current consoles, if it makes sense. It'd be on the 3DS. The Wii U isn't completely dead.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a transition, isn't there?
Yeah, it would be dying,
Yeah.
but it would still be an active console, technically. But yeah, you'll have the same game on 3 consoles. It's a bit...
Until they turn off life support for the Wii U.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a strange... But then we can go back to talking... When we were talking about streaming, it's a very competitive game. There's so many tournaments we all know about. It's just one of those games, and maybe... We could look back to our stream thing. Maybe this new console has got streaming that we've been wanting, and everything's all great. So maybe that could be why.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I think personally, it's a very, very swings and roundabouts sort of subject. I mean, there's us that already have the Wii U version, and it's been out for however long, and you've played it for however long. To go back into that is probably not really an exciting thought, and it's definitely not for me. But you think there's probably or potentially a lot of people out there who haven't played it that Nintendo are hoping to get in with the NX if they're successful. Because I know a lot of people jumped ship and obviously haven't bothered the Wii U since numbers are so little. I think they're on about 11 or 12 million at the moment, and I'm not sure what the Smash Bros numbers are, but it could be a new opportunity for new people to play what is considered to be a very, very good title and one of the best in the series. So there is that.
See, what I was thinking as well is, we've discussed it before, but this is one of those games that sells consoles. People love the Smash Bros series.
Yeah.
Whether you're competitive or casual, doesn't matter. People love it. And now a lot of people did skip the Wii U because they just weren't interested in that. But this is one of those games that could bring people back.
Hopefully. But yeah, I agree to an extent about it selling consoles because, you know, like I just said about the Wii U's numbers, they're not great at all. But you never know. Something like that alongside something else great, you never know. But if it's just with the Wii U, it was Smash Bros. And then, you know, you have 6 months of nothing. And with the Twitch thing being a possibility, I mean, that's just being discussed between us, but we hope it's happening. Something like that.
Because this would be a great game to showcase that new function, wouldn't it? People love to be streaming this game as easy as possible.
Yeah, definitely.
That could be shown. Look what this console can do. This is now showing everyone around the world its possibilities.
Yeah. Well,
but then this is just discussing, and this is nothing confirmed. This is more like a wish list, if anything.
Yeah, without being too sour or salty. I hope this one's not true. I would just rather wait a little bit longer and get a actual sequel, because we know it's not going to be done by Sakurai.
Well, he hasn't completely ruled it out, but I feel like if Sakurai will do another one, it won't be for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of deserves his time off. The amount of work he's put into that game, he deserves a break.
Oh, definitely. And
put his feet up for a bit.
I think personally, if anyone listened to podcast episode 1, we made some predictions. One of my predictions was that the NX is going to launch with a new 3D Mario game. So if that was to be the launch game, whenever the NX launches, whether it's late this year or next year sometime, if Mario 3D was to launch and then Smash Bros came, you know, a year after, 2 years after, that wouldn't necessarily surprise me, and I would prefer that sort of approach again, as long as it's not too long, because I know Nintendo games get delayed and delayed and delayed and pushed back. As long as it's not too long, there is a little bit of a gap still, I would rather that than just getting what essentially is an old game slightly revamped for a launch on the NX. But I feel like something worth noting, or saying at least, is Nintendo, apart from lately with Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, games like that, you know, they're putting HD remakes out. A lot of other games companies, whether it's on Xbox One, Xbox 360, PS3, PS4, we've seen in the past quite a few games not only get HD remakes, but like Game of the Year editions. Whether it's like Fable or Battlefronts, I'm not too sure what games they are, but there is a lot of re-releases a year or two later with the, you know, Game of the Year edition, where you get the DLC, which I'm getting upon now is what I think, if this rumour is true, I think that's what it will be. You'll get all the DLC characters in there, possibly, and it'll be a Game of the Year-esque edition. Hopefully I won't call it that, because I'm not sure I really like that title. But yeah, that's my little input into it.
If I'm not mistaken, didn't the Wii try and do it? I forgot what they called it. It wasn't Game of the Year editions, but didn't they... I can't remember what it was called. It's going to bug me now, but they were releasing games from before.
Oh, Wii Select.
That sounds about right. Yeah. I wanted to guess that, but I didn't think I was right.
Well, to be fair, I think that's different, because that is just re-releasing the game. When a game has been out a certain amount of time, they stop printing, obviously, and you can't get them necessarily brand new. That is, I believe, I might be wrong here, but I'm pretty confident that Once it sells a certain amount, however million, it might be 1 million, might be 5, something like that. I think it's 1 million. It gets reprinted, and that's when it becomes a select title. So then people are available to buy it at a discounted price. I think they were £20 here. And it gets put out there again for people to pick up. It's like, hey, look at this great game that sold loads. Here's an opportunity to buy it for a discounted price. It's in a special case that's red and it says Nintendo Selects on it. Check it out. It's one of our best games, because they did that on the Wii, like you said. GameCube also had it. I can't remember what it's called. I
couldn't remember it either.
Hang on, I have F-Zero GX down here with a silver case, which will tell me.
Was it just platinum or something like that?
That's it. Yeah, player's choice. So
not platinum.
Yeah, you're close. It's silver, but that I think that might be the idea you was touching upon then. So yeah, it's possible. It's weird we haven't got anything like that for the Wii U yet that I know of. Don't know of even.
No, yet. I mean, I would imagine in its closing year, it might start, putting a few cheap copies of some games like Captain Toad, like Yoshi's Woolly World, some of these smaller games, just push them out at a cheaper price, just get them out, which they make a bit of money. I reckon it'll happen.
Yeah, possibly. So yeah, Smash Bros. For NX, that's the Wii U game, as a launch title. Maybe Game of the Year edition with DLC, stuff like that. I don't know what it's going to be called. Whether it's going to be true or not is yet to be seen. But I think we're going to do 3 rumours here. The last rumour is a big one. I think it's something we've touched upon in previous podcasts with our NX rumours and predictions. There's been a rumour that's come out this week in regards to NX and the actual console hardware, which states that the NX, or half the NX, if you hear this out, will release later this year, and it's going to be a handheld device. So that is completely strange, because they're stating the handheld device will come out separately to an actual console launch, but they're going to work simultaneously, and they're going to link up to each other, and I can't personally really get my head around it, even though it is something I think is plausible that it's going to be 2 separate things that link up and become one. I'm
not too surprised by either. Like, now there's this rumour again, going to repeat myself, nothing's confirmed, it's a rumour, but to me, it's not surprising me, because we've had, the rumours before that, it's going to be a handheld home console hybrid, which would be cool or whatever. But that wouldn't surprise me, because they're saying there could be a lot of add-on functionalities, to improve the power processor. This handheld, they say, could just be the core of it.
Yeah, and
so maybe next year there'll be, this is the actual device. Now this is what you can improve on, etc., etc.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily surprised. I just find it hard to get my head around, or I suppose I slightly worry about it, because it's Nintendo and their marketing sometimes. With the Wii U being called the Wii U, everyone got confused, like general public and shops, people didn't know what the hell was going on.
Is it a sequel to the Wii? Who knows?
It's not even that. It's weird, because obviously we haven't seen it yet, nothing's concrete, but if it's a handheld device, right, that is being launched, I'm guessing that obviously means it's not going to integrate with your TV. You're not going to have a TV, so it's going to have a screen on it. So then does it become like this gamepad situation where eventually we're going to have another tablet device or gamepad, a controller with a screen, and then the console, and then the TV, and then you've got multiple screens? And I just feel like on the marketing side of things, that could just be another confusing thing for the general public and the casual market. Which is kind of scary, because I don't want it to just fail, especially with how, not necessarily optimistic, but how many rumours and how much talk this is generating the NX, even though Nintendo have literally said nothing.
Not a peep.
No, nothing in stone anyway. So, I'm not overly sure how I feel about that, but at the same time I am very excited, because I just get excited like that when it's Nintendo and it's new hardware. There's something to me that's quite special about it, whether it's GameCube, the Wii, the Wii U. Everything has been very different, and even the consoles before that, whether it's the controller or the console itself, For better or worse, they have been very different to their competitors. But yeah, we will see.
That's it. We don't know, but we should hear within the next 6 months anyway. We will have our questions answered.
Hopefully, yeah.
And it feels like a long way, but we all know this news does come around really soon. Like, before you know it, we will have whatever the NX is going to be called in our rooms. And speaking of the name, I wouldn't mind if they stuck with the NX name. The NX does sound like a cool name for a console. Maybe it's just grown on me over time.
Yeah, I sort of like it anyway. I mean, it's better than the Dolphin.
Even if it was just Nintendo X.
Yeah.
And then there'd probably be some old Xbox, X is our thing, you bugger off, here's a lawsuit.
Yeah.
But still, it would have been a cool name, but I don't know, there'll probably be a different name for it.
Yeah, I just hope they don't do anything even remotely close or associated with the Wii U. On not bad blood or anything, but it's just leave that behind. But
what I said before he passed away anyway, didn't he, that it will be different.
Yeah,
we're moving away from Wii now. Wii's had its day.
I was about to say earlier in one of the earlier podcasts, the new Nintendo president, didn't he say that? He touched upon how they're going to get away from the Wii U branding and start focusing on a new sort of brand, which is cool.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the Wii and the Wii U. I will always defend it, but I would like them to move on anyway. It's had its day, sort of thing.
Yeah, without being too negative as well, just one more thing I've quickly sort of thought of as we've been sort of discussing this news. Where's a handheld device? Again, sorry for being negative, but it worries me that, is that it for the 3DS, potentially?
Let's say, what implications is it going to have for this console? Because the 3DS, I mean, there isn't much of a competition for handheld gaming, but it is running away with it. I mean, the Vita is dead.
Yeah, and obviously
we can all accept that.
We have mobile gaming, whether it's iPhones or tablets, anything like that. But just the point I wanted to touch upon is, you look through history, since the Game Boy, they've sold so well. The Game Boy, the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, DS, every reiteration of the DS, whether it's DSi, DS Lite, 3DS, 2DS, new 3DS, new 3DS. But the point there is, they have sold so well, even when the GameCube didn't necessarily do well sales wise, but the Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance and DS was there to help it. The Wii U hasn't sold amazing, but the 3DS has sold well. It's sold about 55 million copies, I believe.
Which is successful.
Yeah, units. So, yeah, I mean, obviously that's not as many as an iPhone, but it's not an iPhone.
It's not an iPhone.
Yeah. And it's not Apple. Or overpriced. But yeah, there's just that little thing. If they really are, not making this where they have two separate platforms out at once, because they usually have the handheld and then their console. Whether they're just
something to come
whether they're merging that, it's half exciting, half worrying. Because if it's exciting, that means all focus is going into this one thing, and that one thing should, fingers crossed, be amazing, because their eyes are on that 100% of the time. But it's worrying where if it goes pear shaped, that's all they've really got. That's the only gun they're bringing to the party.
But then that could also pose the question, if it is a handheld / home console, are they going to do exclusive handheld games? Are they going to do exclusive console games? Like, how is it going to work?
And again, yeah, if it is something like that, that's just going to get even more confusing, marketing wise. I can imagine it now, actually, just the cases on the store shelves being like, this works with the NX, whatever the console.
So many Christmas presents are just going to be wrong.
Yeah, this works with the NX controller. Yeah. Damn you, Grandma.
That's it. Do we have time for one more rumour?
You bet your ass we do.
Yeah, bugger it. So what about Paper Mario then?
Ooh.
That's been talked about online this week.
I weirdly enough, I remember I'm going to say a year, I'm not sure when, but there was a similar rumour that came out back then. I can't remember the developer. Off the top of my head, but they were rumoured to be doing a console Paper Mario game that was in vain to the original Paper Mario and Thousand Year Door, which everyone went absolutely nuts about, myself included. I was excited for it because I loved Thousand Year Door. But yeah, I hope it is true that we're getting a new Paper Mario game. I know one's just come out, but it wasn't necessarily a true Paper Mario game.
I don't know if it's the one that people hope for. Like, I follow a lot of people on Twitter anyway, and a lot of people do seem to be enjoying it. But I've never been one for Paper Mario. I've never finished a Paper Mario game. I've played little bits, but I've never played the original, never played A Thousand Year Door, which I've played what people do call the weakest one. I've played Sticker Star.
Yeah,
which people aren't exactly...
That's the one I haven't played. And the new one, sorry.
So now, maybe, if the game, it's true, they make it and it's good, it might be enough to tie me over to play it. But then I feel like I'm not the only one. There must be a lot of people out there who don't really tune into these games. Then maybe it's going to start bringing in new fans. So I think it would be a good thing if they make it. I can't see it being a bad thing anyway.
No, I mean, I don't think Paper Mario is ever going to be something that's completely revolutionary and absolutely breaks the games market and goes out and sells 20 million copies, even if it's an NX launch title. But I think if done right, in my opinion, that would be an original back to formula sort of Paper Mario game, more like the original ones. Something like that launching on the NX and looking real nice and pretty and playing well and just being a really solid 30, 40 hour game. That would not hurt them at all.
I could see it happening as well, because Paper Mario is not exactly... Like you said, it's not a huge game anyway. Like, it's not going to be something that's going to take years and years and years to develop anyway. So I feel like we could see it in the Wii U.
Yeah, fingers crossed. And again, it's just another...
It's just another rumour. But this section's all about rumours anyway, so who cares?
Get used to it.
There's going to be a damn lot more. Now, there's one thing I've wanted to discuss with you anyway, because I put it onto Twitter earlier on, was the fact that E3 coming this year, should Nintendo stick to their Direct that they've been doing for the past couple of years, or should they go out full guns blazing and do a full-on presentation? Which I'm very neutral at the moment. I haven't got a side. I'm very on the fence, I'm happy for them to do Direct. I'd be excited if they did a presentation. Now, I took to Twitter, I asked people, and it's very mixed as well. And again, people like the ideas of Directs. They find them very personal, which I like. But then there's people, saying, look, if they've got hardware to show off, they should go out there, go full performance, get a presentation, everything, showcase it off. And I just can't decide where I stand.
Yeah, I'm fairly in the middle, but... Because I'm only in the middle because I don't necessarily care too much. Just as long as we get some news around that time and something excites me and I've got something to talk about, then that's great. But yeah, I mean, I do enjoy the Directs. I really do, because they've got this quirkiness to them.
Yeah.
They can do them how they please. I mean, as much as I love the live stage show or presentation on stage, if you will.
Reggie in his full glory, showing off becoming a next meme.
Yeah, which is stuff I love. But
I like it.
I mean, that happens in the Directs anyway. I mean, there's been some funny moments in the Directs, and we get some like funny opening intros. I remember the Pikmin one with Miyamoto.
Mm-hmm.
We had him in his little blazer pocket and stuff, which was really cool. Just stuff like that are nice touches. But the live ones, I feel like, more can obviously go wrong. I mean, who could forget when they debuted Skyward Sword and all the infrared interferences and Bluetooth just absolutely destroyed the connection of the Wiimote. And then there was, the Wii music and stuff like that. That it's definitely a bit cringy looking back on it. Which the the pre-recorded videos for the directs, they can obviously get it down to a T and make it perfect.
That's the thing. I don't know why they can't just do a bit of both. Do about an hour and a half presentation showing off the NX. Because they said they will be discussing the NX at E3. That we do know. That is a thing that we're talking on this podcast that is actually confirmed. This is not a rumour. This is a big day for us. No, they said they will talk about the NX at E3. So, what I can't see why they can't, show it off at E3 in the presentation, but have a direct for games. Do, focus on the 3DS, because I want that to stay alive. I'm sure you want to keep it alive. Get a load of 3DS stuff in there. The Wii U, because the Wii U's not dead as well. You've got some games in there. They can even show off upcoming games for the NX in this direct, and they can have a bit of both.
Oh, definitely. I mean, personally, for me, one of my most treasured and favourite moments, 2004, I think, pretty sure it's 2004, Twilight Princess. And there was this small compared to today's standards for E3, but they just put the trailer on. The trailer itself, amazing.
There were people in the audience crying for bread.
There's people yelling, like shouting and going nuts like it's a football match or something. Like,
wouldn't you be if you were in the auditorium? I'd be losing my shit.
No, that's
sorry.
No, that's what I'm getting upon. It's just, you can see a live reaction of people just getting not only emotional but just excited, and really Nintendo are there in person. Like, important people like Miyamoto, Reggie, all them kinds of people are there in person and can soak that all in. I mean, how good must that have felt for them when Twilight Princess got announced? That's happened compared to like these days, Metroid Federation Force and what happened there, yeah. And everyone just sent them hate mail essentially, which I personally don't agree with doing, but
was absolutely wrong with some people's reaction. Like, people were even signing a petition to get their game cancelled, which was absolutely outrageous.
Yeah,
like,
you could just
there are people dedicated and working hard on this game, and we've not seen any of it. And only because, let's be realistic, there are just some crybaby fanboys.
Oh, definitely.
There's a small minority.
You could just stop being a little bitch and not buy the game.
And you let those developers make the game they want to make.
Yeah, bitch.
But I think going back to the audience reaction as well, that generates hype.
Oh,
when
definitely.
People see, you and me sat on on our computers on Twitter. Oh, look, they've announced this. When you're seeing people's reaction, you're seeing people get really excited for a game. That creates hype amongst other people. That helps.
Oh, definitely. And then with E3 as well, forgive me if I'm a little confused and misinformed, that with the presentation comes after. I remember before, was it the 3DS, I believe? They said, here's the 3DS. And then they had, at the time, not full games, of Ocarina remade, and Star Fox 64 redone. And I think there were going to be demos, something like that, like a tech demo sort of thing. Not necessarily full games, but they held it up. Here's the 3DS, here's these games. You can go play them now. And these people walked out all with a 3DS and handed them to like people in the audience. And I was just like, holy crap, like,
why isn't that me?
Not only just that, but I was like, wow, what an experience. What a way as a company to, you talk about directs being personal. That is personal, yeah. Albeit to a smaller number, but that is personal, and that is service to the fans.
It's such a, where do we lie? Which is the better route for them to go?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Even after discussing this, I'm still on the fence.
Yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons, and it's a very balanced argument. I mean, just the points we've made in the last 5 or 10 minutes in regards to both of them. I'm still on the fence. Again, like, I'm not too bothered in the sense of, as long as we get some news around E3 that is, fairly substantial and big and worthy of being at E3. I think that's what it's about. As long as we get someone that's worthy of being, a competitor for knocking any PlayStation or Xbox game off its perch. Because I'm not necessarily talking about console wars here or anything like that, like getting stupid about it, but you should be not necessarily fiercely, but you should be competing and trying to outdo your competitors.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's what being a company in 2016 on planet Earth is about.
Yeah. I mean, to them, they want to make these great games that we enjoy, obviously, but they are a company at the end of the day. They want to thrive. They want to succeed. That's their job. But for them to do their job, they're making these great games for us. So we both win.
Yeah, so to round it up, hopefully at E3, we're going to see the NX. Hopefully we get a man called Reggie kicking ass and talking trash on stage.
And that's what we all want. And let's be realistic here. Whether they do a direct or a presentation, we're going to tune in.
Oh, definitely.
Regardless.
It's always a great week, E3.
Yeah. They should make it a public holiday. No one goes to work for a week, We all tune in and get our life source from whatever games they throw at us and then destroys our bank balances.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it is the halfway point of the year, and it's like a little Christmas there. It is the gaming Christmas. So, moving on.
Please, before I start having a panic attack about the bank balance.
So, moving on. Again, I can't say it without chuckling, but
come on.
It's a very serious subject. This week, Nintendo officially unveiled a game called Detective Pikachu.
Birth. We've all been waiting for.
Detective Pikachu, Birth of a New Combination, it's called. I did not know it had a little subtitle.
I didn't know until you said it.
But now you know. So it's a 3DS game starring the little yellow minion called Pikachu. Not a minion. And it is exactly what it sounds like. And if for some bizarre, stupid, unforgiving reason you are listening to this podcast without having seen any of this game, I forgive you. Stop this podcast. Go onto YouTube, type it in, watch the 1.5-minute video. It is absolutely ridiculous in the most breathtakingly wonderful way. And it's, like I said, it's exactly what it is. Pikachu in a Sherlock Holmes sort of style hat, going
take this seriously
anymore. And he's going absolutely nuts at the screen, and he is voiced. No more Pikachu. He is voiced. He is a voice actor, and better than that.
Sorry, I can't.
It gets better. It gets better. In 2013, I didn't really know about this until recently, so I did a little bit of research before doing this podcast. In 2013, there was a little bit of footage about the game. That's why people have sort of been not too surprised by the announcement of this game. Maybe more surprised that it's still a thing. But yeah, sorry to get back to it. October 2013, an actor was actually showed motion capping for facial animations for Pikachu. So Pikachu, his mouth movements and speech and how you hear him are going to be human.
Brilliant.
He's going to move his mouth like a human. He's going to sound like a human, and he's going to be talking.
I was going to say, before you get too excited about this game is only announced for Japan so far. It hasn't been localized here in Europe or in America.
I will move to...
Let's have a Japanese talking Pikachu for all I get. No,
I'll move to Japan.
But there have been petitions already. Like, there's one game in PACE they want it to be voiced by Danny DeVito.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which would, that's perfect. But there's so much interest talking about it now on social media. I reckon we could see it over here. Maybe in Japan first, give it half a year, come out over here. But it's just baffling, isn't it?
I think it will come out over here just because of how, not necessarily how silly it is, but like you just mentioned, the hype over it. It's only going to be a cheap 3DS game anyway. It's not a full budget title. I think it's the equivalent of less than £10. This price, it's like 1,200 yen, which is equivalent of about £7 or £8. So yeah, I'm just intrigued. I will happily spend £10 on a game that is just absolutely batshit crazy, to put it loosely.
We're keeping this very professional now, aren't we? We're taking this seriously, okay? This is a hard fucking game. I'm sorry. What a way to end this podcast, eh? On a light-hearted note.
Not only is this the happiest I've been in a podcast, but like this is the last 10 minutes we've probably cursed more than we have in the rest of them.
I don't think I've sworn once on the podcast, but bloody hell, Nintendo.
See what this game is doing to us?
The game's not even announced for this bloody continent yet, and we're laughing our heads off.
I feel like you've got stoned off this game.
Do we wrap it up here? I feel like we've covered everything from the NX to Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, there's nothing really else to say about that game anyway. Like I said, there's a little trailer. It's in Japanese. There has been one uploaded actually. I can't remember the name of the uploader, but there's one been uploaded with subtitles. So definitely go and check one of those out. It's absolutely worth checking out. Go have a look at the rumours because rumours are fun, and you know if you're listening to us, you're going to be sick of rumours.
We are 80% rumours.
We will completely keep going on the rumour train till we arrive at E3 and blow our faces off. But with that being said, thank you again for listening to Nintendogram podcast. We're up to episode 4 now, which is nice because we're going to be on 5 next week. And
wow,
tune in.
This has been the first time since the first podcast we haven't talked about Twilight Princess HD as well.
Oh yeah, there's a game called Twilight Princess HD, and it's coming out. Do it.
3 in a row. We couldn't go one podcast without talking about it. No. We'll move away before we do start discussing it, because there's not even a lot to discuss this week anyway, so...
No. But we are nearly in February, so that means just over a month till Twilight Princess. So I'm excited for it. You should be too. Don't get too sad about what the graphics look like, because graphics aren't everything, and you will get over it, because if you've not played it before, it is a fantastic game that you will easily sink 30, 40, 50 hours in. It looks beautiful, regardless of how many polygons it's got, and you'll be an idiot for giving it a miss if you've not tried the original already. With that being said, thank you again for listening to me and Chalice ramble on about idiotic things, about Pikachu in a hat, to NX rumours, to E3, to Paper Mario, to everything that's happened this week.
Sequel, fingers crossed.
Yeah. So thank you again. We're going to wrap up. Please follow us on Twitter at Nintendogram UK, and we have a Tumblr which I've been posting a lot on recently. Again, Twilight Princess, name drop. You can follow us there at nintendogram.tumblr.com. Give us a follow on those and we'll be mega happy. Also, one last thing, if you've not listened to it already on YouTube, our podcast, starting from episode 1, and the one you're listening to now is on YouTube. So if you're not listening to it on YouTube already, if you're using our SoundCloud, please go over and subscribe to our YouTube. We'll have a link on our Twitter. It's just Nintendogram UK, but you can get a link on our Twitter or our SoundCloud in the About Me section. And please subscribe, listen to our podcast, come back next week, and keep us happy.
Thank you very much, guys.
Keep on gaming.